Hi, welcome to the Park Moms Podcast. We're your hosts, Haley
and Becca.
This is a place where we laugh and chat about the chaotic bliss of raising young kids.
So whether you're about to take a hot mom walk or start a little laundry, let's get to yapping.
Let's get to it. We are full force cozy vibes right now. We have our tea and we have our sweats on. We're sitting by the fireplace. The fireplace isn't on.
I feel like we'd get too hot.
I would get too hot. I'm like kind of hot right now, but also I'm not wearing a bra, so I'm not taking the sweatshirt off.
I'm like a little raspy today, and I don't know if it's from losing my voice at the Sabrina Carpenter concert or if I'm starting to get a little bug, which I hope it's not the latter.
No, it's probably Sabrina Carpenter concert.
For sure.
What day was that? That was last Saturday.
So it's been a few days.
It was so
But I did
much
kind of have a sore throat after from just like screaming.
Oh, we were screaming. We were fully fangirling, girly pop, all of the things. It was so fun.
Should we talk about Sabrina first, or should we go into part time?
Okay, let's talk about Sabrina.
Okay, so if you follow me on TikTok, you probably saw, I don't know how to do like the heart emoji, but I think I sent this to you. My cute cousin who's like young and hip said, okay, you're doing it wrong. That's your problem.
Okay, this is how I thought you were doing it. Or you were supposed to do it. Pointer finger straight, middle finger heart.
It's the opposite. Middle finger straight, pointer fingers heart. That's why it's easier because your pointer fingers are more flexible.
I can't do that.
No, that's easier. Like, look. How much
I can do this. Show the camera.
I don't know. I'm.
Can we just bring this back?
Yeah.
Can we please, for the love, just bring back the normal heart? Like, why are we trying to invent things? You know they're changing everything.
Really?
You know they're changing the way that they do math.
I heard they're changing the ABCs.
No.
Yeah.
Literally, like how you sing them.
They're not doing LMNOP anymore because it's confusing for kids.
I've heard that. Okay, I'm sorry, but like justice for the alphabet. Why are we?
Why
are we changing that now? I
actually am like kind of for it though, because LMNOP.
Okay, but alphabet, we're changing the way we do algebra, and we're changing the way that we do hearts.
Also, I'm gonna double check the heart because now I'm confusing myself. Okay.
No, they're changing the way that they like do algebra. I don't know because I haven't done algebra since I left high school.
But you're telling us once our kids are in that phase, we're screwed.
We're totally screwed. I mean, I was screwed anyway because I didn't make it past college algebra.
You know, I'm actually really good at math.
I did not know that.
Okay, she said middle fingers go down. Yeah, so I was right. Middle fingers go down and then the tops curve.
What do you do with all your other fingers?
They just are like down.
Anyways, we never even said why we were talking about the heart thing. But at the concert, we're like let me set the scene. Okay. We're like in the middle of a song. Context. We're like, we're dancing, we're feeling good. I look over at Becca and she's trying to do the Gen Z heart and she's literally like going like this. And so I'm trying to help her. And in that moment, I truly felt my age.
Yeah, I know. True. And like I always say that I like feel young. And those are the kind of things that humble me and make me not feel young.
Oh, yes. Speaking of being humbled, that is the title of our episode today is being humbled by our kids. But we'll get into that after park chat and park talk.
The concert was great, though. We definitely felt like I was in my like younger era of just like she's such a good like actress as well, and just like kind of young dating life. It just was kind of a throwback.
Do you know what's weird for us though is I think a lot of people at the concert watched her grow up on Disney, and then
true.
Yeah, we didn't. No. And then humbling for me is halfway through the concert, our other friend Sav and I Googled when she was on Disney Channel. We were in college, so
we're still watching it for sure.
No, we were not watching it. We were probably like literally engaged.
Yeah, married. Get married young.
Yeah, we did get married young. So anyways, it was so much fun. I think though it should have been.
Quick, how do people watch the Disney Channel now? Like, do they go watch it on like
Plus.
Disney Plus?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's not like satellite. I mean, I'm sure there is, but that's not what people are doing.
Also, one last thing about Sabrina Carpenter concert. Did you notice how many times I told people we were moms?
No. Haley's like, just so you know, we're moms. Don't worry. See, I'm like the opposite. I'm like, no, I'm not a mom. I'm out tonight. Like,
it should have been a drinking game how much I told random people that we are moms. Like, we asked someone to take our picture and we didn't like it. And I was like, sorry, we're moms. It had nothing to do with us being moms. And I'm like, we're just moms.
Yeah.
Mom's night out.
Yeah. Moms. That's okay.
I was embarrassing.
I'm okay with mom being my identity. Speaking of that, we're going to have some fun gear soon.
Gear. No, let's call it merch. Gear is like for sports. We're not going to have gear.
It obviously shows that I'm not in this world that well. But we're going to have sweatshirts and hats. I'll just say that. That's going to be like Park Mom and meet me at the park. And so like we're really going to go down with the mom identity there.
Yeah. And then you'll know when you see your other park mom friends at the park and you're by yourself, you can be like, hey,
we're all in the club together.
You in the club, we're all fam.
Love it. Okay.
I don't think I'm ever going to get sick of that audio.
No, and you know what? I didn't get it at first. Haley had to explain it to me like 10 times, but now that I get it,
I get it.
And like, okay, there's this really funny guy. I'll have to find his name, but he like is like it's one of those TikTokers who like makes fun of things.
Yeah.
And he like basically is like saying that meme to someone and they don't get it. And he's like, when that person doesn't get what you're saying, he's like, in the club, we are all family. And it was just like so funny.
That was what happened to us.
Totally me.
Because I think we made a TikTok the first day that sound was trending, and you didn't even have a TikTok at this point. And I was like,
true.
This isn't going to make sense, but just say,
in the club, we all fam.
In the club, we all fam.
I love it.
Anyways, okay, let's go into park chat.
Concert was great. How to give the update there. So into park chat, why don't you start this week?
Okay, well, big news is that I turned 30.
It's your birthday.
It was my birthday, and I'm going to slay these 30s. I'm telling you right now, I'm manifesting. Like,
you got your Botox. You're looking great.
I got Botox yesterday. I'm pretty sure I'm done having kids. My 20s were fun.
Oh, that's weird to think. You're done having kids by 30?
I know. Oh, like, I did a
shiz
ton in my 20s.
That's kind of amazing, actually.
I know.
I've also heard 30, flirty, and thriving.
So weird. Where did you hear that? Oh my gosh.
I think it's true though. Like I've heard multiple people say like
no, your
the hottest
30s
people
are the
they
best.
know are in their late 30s.
I've also heard that sex, I don't know why I spelled it, but is really good in your 30s for women.
I have not heard that. Where did you hear that?
Like literally everywhere.
Oh.
They say that for the men, it's like the best in their 20s and 30s, and for women, it's best in their 30s and 40s. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but if you know, please chime in.
Yeah, chime in.
Comment if you're 30 and
so how was your birthday? What was the highlight?
It was really fun. So we did back-to-back trips. We did one trip with Camden's family, my husband's family, and then we had one day in between, and then we went on a trip to Florida with my family. And like not just my little family, my parents, my brothers, my sister, her husband, the whole gang was there. And it was really fun. We were in Florida for a week.
Was it fun traveling for your birthday? Because sometimes it's like fun to be on vacation for your birthday, but also sometimes it's like it doesn't revolve around you, which your birthday should.
Yeah, it was hard. It was a little bit hard. I'm not gonna lie.
Especially your 30th.
Listen, I'm a Scorpio. Like I like things to be about me.
Yeah.
And they were about me, and my husband did such a good job for my birthday. My present is that we're gonna go to New York for a couple of days, and like so he did such a good job surprising me because I honestly didn't know that was gonna happen. And like we did a cute little dinner while we were in Florida, and my sister and my mom watched the kids. So it was really fun. But yeah, I'm just like excited to be 30. But we were in Florida, and we just like spent the whole time going to the beach and the pool and walking everywhere. And we went to Seaside. If anyone's been to Seaside, it's just like so cute and charming.
I haven't been. Do you feel like it was family friendly too?
It was it's the perfect family trip with young kids. It felt very safe, which is ironic because I'm probably. Should we talk about it?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
If you want to. Do you want to?
Yeah, I think I can talk about it.
Okay.
And I actually think it will be good to talk about because when I talked about this on my Instagram, it was crazy. I think I got more DMs about this than I've ever gotten about anything.
It's like validating.
Of like validating and people who have had similar experiences. So hopefully this can be the same way. But
and I also will just like disclaimer.
My hands are sweating.
What you're going to go into, like it definitely isn't like a scenario where you're a bad mom. I think all of us experience something similar or will. But it like, I'm sure in that moment it felt like, oh gosh, like what did I do?
It was terrible. Okay, so I'll set the scene. It was the last day of our trip. It was the day after Halloween. We're all like pretty tired. We've been traveling and just, with family a lot.
Yeah, back-to-back trips.
Yeah, we're like, okay, we're all going to go to the beach. So we all grab lunch. We head down to the beach, and my sister has one baby who is just over a year old, and I have 3 kids, 4, 3, and 1. So we're definitely like the family that has like the biggest amount of crazy just because we have the most kids.
Yeah.
And so my parents and my siblings are so awesome about helping, but I feel like I have to like preface that they are so helpful because I feel like it kind of helped lead to like what happened.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So we go down to the beach, and if you've ever been I grew up in San Diego, and so the beaches, the way that they are in San Diego, like there's lots of coves and then there's like bluffs, and you can't just like see all the way down the beach. But in Florida, you can very much like be in one spot and you can see for miles and miles down the beach. It's just like one straight line, at least where we are staying in Florida. And so we get there and we have lunch, and the birds are like swarming us because we have food and people were feeding the birds. And we like sit down. I'm feeding my 1-year-old. I'm like talking to my husband. We're kind of getting set up. We're kind of eating. I'm like doing constant check like, okay, there's one child, there's another child, there's another child, you know, like you do. I'm always constantly like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
It's like your keys phone wallet is like my 3 kids. Are they all good?
Yes, it's so true. So my middle child, her name is Blair. She is 3 years old, and she's definitely my most independent child. And I looked at my mom, I'm like having a hard time telling this because it's just a lot. But
it brings up a lot.
Yeah, it's bringing up because this just happened last week. So we sit down, we're eating. She's dancing in front of this like group of girls that are teenagers, and I'm like, look at Blair performing. Like, she's so funny. And then it literally felt like 5 minutes went by. And I genuinely think it couldn't have been longer than like 6 or 7 minutes.
Yeah.
And we had a little plate of sandwiches, and they were starting to run out. And Blair is a picky eater. She doesn't eat a lot. I remember thinking, okay, there's only one sandwich left. I need to give it to Blair.
Yeah.
And I look up and I'm like, where's Blair? Where is she? And my heart just like sank because I was like, where is she?
Yeah.
And also I should preface that the water was super choppy. They had the flags out of like riptides. No one should go in the water. There wasn't a single person in the water.
Yeah.
Like we weren't going in the water. We were just hanging out at the beach. And probably 3 or 4 days before that, we were in the water because it was super calm. And when you're in Florida, it's super shallow, really far out. So, like, it just feels like one big pool. Mm-hmm. And so my daughters were in there with their floaties. Like, they're very much comfortable in the water.
And they're also, like, they swim a lot. So they're very brave in the water.
Yeah, they've done swim lessons. They're very brave in the water. They love the water. And so I say, where's Blair? And instantly, like, my heart just sank. And it was kind of just like go mode. And it's kind of a blur, but
like panic.
I ran to the left. My husband ran to the right. And there was a few people to the left, not very many, but there was probably like 1 or 2 people to the right, but very far. My dad went into the water. Like my mom was like, Matt, my dad's name, you're in the water. And then she ran up to like the stairs so that she could look in the ocean, which is like such a horrible feeling. And we really didn't talk about who was going where, but like looking back, it made so much sense. Like if she was in the water, I couldn't have been the one to find her. And like, so I'm glad my dad's the one who like went in to find her. If that was the case, it wasn't the case. I'll just like say that right now. And then my siblings just like all scattered and started looking for her. And I went to the left and I kind of started running. I didn't see her. I probably ran like a half mile. Didn't see her. And then I went back to where my husband was. He went to the right and he had my other daughter and he was like, he probably went 3/4 of a mile to the right. And he asked a few people, have you seen a little girl? And they were like, no. I think he asked 2 people. And so then I start running this way back to him. He starts running this back to me and he's like, she's not down there. And at that point, my mom was on the top of the stairs and she said she saw that interaction. She saw me just like crumble. Yeah. And at that moment, like.
What's going through your head?
Literally every bad thought. Like in my head, she was gone. Because I'm looking in the water and the water is so choppy. Mm-hmm. And I see my dad in the water and his face is just white. And I saw my husband's face and he was like, and I saw my brother's girlfriend. I was like, she couldn't have gone in the water. And she was like, no. Like, and at this point, I didn't know this, but the group of teenage girls told my sister we saw her go into the water.
Oh, wow.
So my sister, like at this point, we're thinking she's gone.
Yeah.
And it's all a blur, but she was gone for 20 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
It wasn't
a long time.
It wasn't like it was 5 minutes and we didn't know where she was.
And even like 5 minutes feels like a lifetime. So 20 minutes felt like
20 minutes. My mom was coming down. She was running to us to say, call the police. Because if she is in the water, we have minutes. And in my head, everything was going through my head. I was thinking, she's gone. I'm not going to be able to go home. Like I was thinking of the weirdest logistical things. I was thinking, I'm never going to be able to go back to her room, so we have to sell our house. We're going to have to move somewhere.
You're like already spiraling.
Yeah. How am I going to get like my other kids through this? Because my 4-year-old, who they're so close, they're 18 months apart. She's like on the ground, like we can't find my sister. And my mom's thinking, oh, how am I going to? Just every bad thought goes through your head, and like the guilt and everything. And there was 9 adults there and 4 kids. Like we definitely had enough adult eyes that like should have been watching. And I think that's why my guard is down. And when you hear about these stories happening, they actually say there's a lot of adults around, but everyone assumes that another adult is watching the kids, which I think is a really good tip to like not let your guard down just because you think someone else is watching. Yeah. And I definitely did that. I thought like, oh, I'm watching the other 2 kids. Someone else is watching Blair. Long story short, sorry this is so long, but I run past my husband and he's like, she's not down there. And I just had the feeling to keep going. And I was incoherent at this point. I knew everyone was helping, but I felt like no one was. Like,
you were,
I kept
alone.
thinking, I kept thinking, like, someone do something. And everyone was doing everything. At this point, the whole beach was looking for her. Like, people were getting up out of their chairs and running up and down the beach, and everyone was looking. And I see someone so far in the distance waving. Like, so far. I can barely even see. And it was a clear day. Like, it's not like it was foggy.
I, like, have the chills right now.
And I just, like, started sprinting. And then I sprinted down, and she had ran more than a mile down the beach. Just ran. And the guy that found her was like, I have never seen a toddler run that fast in my life. It felt like I was running for such a long time because I still couldn't see her, but I ran for a mile. I literally sprinted, and I'm just crying. And there was one other cute, like, couple that was like, she's down there, like, you've got it. And I just, like, got to her, and I just, like, crumpled and, like, held her in the sand. And she was completely fine. She wasn't scared. And I was like, what were you doing? Like, and then my mom came behind me and, like, was holding me while I was holding her. And it was, like, the biggest sense of relief. Like, I've never felt relief like that in my life because I thought she was gone. I really, really thought she was gone. Anyways, she was fine. Everything was fine. But it was probably the worst experience of my life. And I'm, like, still trying to even understand how it happened.
Yeah.
Because it happened so fast and she got so far. And I feel like I am a very attentive mom.
Yeah.
But, like, you have that mom guilt of, like, oh my gosh, I wasn't looking.
Yeah.
And I think it was such a testament, like, it can happen to anyone.
Yeah.
And you have to be so careful. And one really good tip that my mom's friend gave me.
Yeah, I was going to see if anyone, like, wrote in.
Yeah, because I had so many people be like, this happened to me. We lost our kid at Disneyland for this long. This is what happened. Ooh. She was a beach lifeguard. She said if your kid's ever lost at the beach, 90% of the time they run with the sun on their backs. And she did.
Interesting.
So that's just, I don't know if that will help anyone because that would have helped us if we, like, would have thought direction. That. Yeah, because I think I even went to the left, which the sun was the other direction. I think I went there.
Because they don't want to run with the sun in their eyes, is that why?
Yeah, but we're good now. We left the beach, and honestly, we're probably not going to go to the beach for a minute, which makes me sad, but I'm going to wait until my kids are a little older.
Yeah.
And, like,
it's scary. In motherhood, like, there are going to be, like, crazy things that happen like that, and it is just, like, scary, and, like, you're always thinking, like, what more could I have done?
Yeah.
And it's that mom guilt. Like, it's so intense in that moment, and, like, you're an amazing mom, like, and, like, so grateful that nothing did happen to her, but it's just crazy, like, how anything can happen like that to anyone. That's why it's, like, that no judgment to people, because, like, you're like, oh, how could you do X, Y, and Z?
Yeah.
But it's, like, you know what I mean?
And she definitely had guardian angels watching her. So anyways, that happened. I'm so grateful she's okay. I'm so grateful for my parents and my siblings and my brother's girlfriend for, like, getting on it so fast and helping us look for her. And I'm so grateful for the people that found her. And I'm just hoping that I think time will make it feel less just, like, raw.
Yeah.
And I'll be able to stop thinking about it. But
you probably empathize a lot, though, with other people who've had that similar situation. Yes. You said a lot of people reached out to you. And, like,
so many people on Instagram reached out, and I think it was really good for me to hear that because I did have a lot of mom guilt. But we all have mom guilt, and we're all good moms. And, yeah,
those scenarios just happen. And, like, nothing's more precious than your child. And, like, life happens, which is kind of scary.
Happens. But, okay, let's go into some lighter stuff.
I know, that is heavy, but it is also real life as well. Okay, this is actually a good one, my payoff moment. This is also, like, I guess, a hack too. If your kids say something really cute, write it down because it's so easy to forget what they say. I actually heard of someone who, like, writes it down, like, all year, and then they, like, send it to an email to, like.
Oh, that's cute.
But Sam was like, if you don't log into your email for a certain amount of time, they kick you out. So he's like,
that's true.
Maybe
you could lose
like a shared note or something.
Yeah.
But I was driving in the car the other day with Colson, and right now it's been, like, kind of the fall-winter transition where we live. And so it's, like, the leaves are still changing, but then it's, like, has, like, the winter frost
it's so pretty.
As well. And it is beautiful. And, like, the sunsets and everything, it's just so pretty here right now. And so it's just, like, a beautiful day. We were driving, and my little boy goes, Mom, I love being myself. I love being in the world with everyone. I am happy I'm here now. I'm not a baby. I love going on drives and playing with my friends and going to school. It's just so beautiful.
That's so cute.
Isn't that so
I love that.
Cute?
That is a payoff moment.
Wrote it down word for word because, like, and he, like, it was like without a pause. That was, like, his whole statement. And I was just like, in our house we do talk a lot about, like, loving ourselves and, like, not always, like, seeking validation from, like, we don't say it like that, but like I always like, I bet you're so proud of yourself, you know, or I bet you love yourself, you know, not necessarily like seeking validation always from us. And anyways, it was so cute. And he's just like, I love being myself. And he's like kind of sensing like, I'm growing up. I'm not a baby like my newborn anymore. And I just think life is beautiful. And so it was like so sweet. And I'm like, I cannot forget that he said that because it's so cute.
Swear that kids always say those things too when I'm having a hard day or I'm having a hard time. And then my kids will say something and I'm like, I needed to hear that. Yes. Thank you.
Take a breath. It was so cute. Sweet.
I love that.
Okay. And then I have like a tactical mom hack as well that I have done recently. And this is not rocket science or nothing or like anything people haven't heard before, but I did it this year. Actually, I think you were the one who like, you really need to do this.
Is it the snack bin?
Yes.
The car one?
Yes.
Yeah, I did tell you about this.
Okay, I did that. So I've been doing a lot of like pickup and drop offs for like school, and we run around, do errands, or go meet people at the park or whatever. And it's so hard getting out of the door with 3 kids, and just like
especially because you have a newborn and you're nursing, and you have to time that.
Getting their drinks going, like making sure there's not a blowout or a poopy diaper, whatever. And so in the back of my car, I just got like a little Amazon bin that has like a few compartments. And like one compartment I have like diapers and wipes, one compartment I have like outfit changes, and then one compartment I just have like a ton of snacks. And then I also keep like their coats in the back just so like I don't have to pack all that every time. And it's been a game changer for me.
It's
like
so nice.
It's so nice not rushing out the door, and like every time I pick up my son from school, he's like, I want a snack. I want a snack.
Do you know what? I don't even have a diaper bag anymore. I don't have a diaper bag. I just have that in my car.
Yeah.
And then I have like, I mean, my youngest is 1. So I'll just have like a diaper and wipes in my purse, but I don't have a diaper bag. And I just have the snack bin, and the kids know that they get in the car and they grab a snack.
Yeah.
And so it's great.
Nice. It's so convenient. And like then they just kind of can choose from what you have too. So you're not always like, I want this specific snack or something. It's just like, oh, this is what we have.
These are the car snacks. Yeah, I literally have like a white bin labeled car snacks.
It's the best.
And every time we go to Costco, we'll like take all the snacks and just like
well, they get sick of them at home anyways because there's too many in every single pack. So I'm like, it actually is perfect. And so thanks for that hack. It's really actually made a big difference.
Oh,
and
good.
It's one of those things where I'm like, I thought forever I should do it. And then I finally did it. And I was like, wow.
Why haven't I done this sooner?
Time saver.
Yeah, that is such a good hack.
Any other like life hacks for you or updates?
No, those are all of my updates. You have a big one.
I know. Should we go into that this week? Because it's kind of a long one.
We can talk about it.
Let's just tease it and we'll talk about it more.
Okay.
Basically, long story short, I don't even know if we've ever told what we do for our jobs.
I don't think we did.
Maybe we high level talked about it, but I'm in tech and I do like recruiting. I actually started in sales, but now I do recruiting. And I've been at my company in tech for 4 years, and I just quit this week and I'm starting a new job in like 2 weeks. So it was like a crazy journey. And I will just say, if anyone's out there right now interviewing for a job, like it is so intense. And so my heart goes out to you because like my process was extremely lengthy and intense. And
and the fact that you did it with a newborn and 2 other kids, and you were interviewing for jobs and starting a podcast and just being a good friend, you were doing so much at one time.
It was a lot. And like just an emotional roller coaster of just like, there was so many times I didn't think I was going to get it. And I also went through a couple other processes. But anyways, I ended up getting the role. I'm starting in a few weeks, so I'll have to update you guys on how it is. But the biggest reason I made the change was I wanted something remote so I could be like closer to my baby, because my other job, they have us go in the office now. And just like with breastfeeding and pumping, it's just kind of difficult to be in the office.
And you have 3 kids now. I think it's a lot easier to go to work. I mean, it's never easy to go to work and leave your kids.
Yeah.
But especially when your kids get older and you have 3, I think it gets harder and harder.
It definitely does. So, well, I'll talk about more about what it's going to be like. But yes, it's very exciting. It's going to be a big change. I'm sure it'll take some adjusting, but I'm actually really excited. I will say, though, I was telling Colson I'm going back to work since I've been on maternity leave since I just had my newborn. And he's like, Mom, just never go back to work. Just stay and play with me all day.
That's so hard.
I don't want anyone else to pick me up, just you. And I'm like, well, you know, like we have to make money and things like that. And that's not the only reason I work. But so I was kind of explaining to him, like, fine, then just get me a dirt bike with the money you make.
Okay, I actually was always hesitant to tell Elsie, which our oldest are the same age, Elsie and Colson, because she asked me the other day, we're driving to school, and she goes, why don't all moms work? Why do you work? And we'll have to do an episode just on working moms. Yeah. And I kind of was like, like, where do I go with this? And I was like, I don't want to make it about money. But then I was like, do you know what? I think it's good for her to realize that things don't just come from thin air.
Yeah.
So I explained to her, I said, okay, well, I have a job, and my job makes it so I can pay for this car that can drive you to school, and I can buy you new clothes for school, and I can do this. And I kind of explained to her, And now she she used to be like, why do you work, Mom? Why do you work? And now she's like, thank you for working. Thank you for my new shoes. Thank you for this. And I actually think it's good for them to understand, even though they're so young.
Yeah.
And it isn't all about money. I think both of us work for other reasons besides just money.
Yeah.
And I did tell her too. I said, well, and I love what I do and I feel really good about it. And I also just work part-time. You work full-time, so it is a different story. But I think it's good for them to know the reasons behind why we work. But it is a different dynamic. I think more moms are working now than they ever have.
Yeah, and like doing different things. And like, I think it's good for like the kids to grow up and kind of see both of that. And you're right. It's not all about money. And like, I'm not even sure if that's the right thing to say. But I do feel like working does make me a better mom in a lot of ways. It's harder in some ways. But one thing I've actually really noticed is that I stress mostly about work. And so, like, I'm actually kind of an anxious person, so I'm always going to be stressing about something. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's better for me to stress about, like, the challenges I have at work than, like, being really anxious about the kids.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I don't feel like I can solve some of those things sometimes.
That makes sense.
And so I do feel like it does put my anxiety less on them, and, like, my time with them is, like, pretty, like, focused on them. Like, not all the time, but I do feel like we do kind of have that quality time more so than when I'm not working. So it's hard, though. I mean, like, working moms out there.
I cried about it today.
I cried about it today too. So working moms out there just know we know it's really hard. And
I also think it's hard not to work because I've done both.
Yeah, I actually haven't. I besides maternity leave.
Yeah, but still, you kind of get a taste of it.
Yes.
Of not working, and I wouldn't say one is harder than the other. I actually think, if I were to say one's harder, I would say for me, staying at home full time would be harder.
Yeah.
Again, because I'm very just like you're kind of saying you're an anxious person, but I don't even know if it's our anxiety. I think it's more just like we're type A. Yeah, we're type A. We're productive. We like to get things done. And with motherhood, you can't plan that way.
Yeah.
Whereas like a job, you can kind of get like that part of your brain can be satisfied, and then you can be a little more lenient and like you said in the moment with your kids, which really does help me.
Don't you feel like this is a little bit of a tangent from that, but I feel like you were saying like you can't like control motherhood. I think we talked about this a little our first episode, like having kids really does make you so much more present.
Yeah.
Because it is like if you cannot enjoy it if you don't just chill, because it's never going to be the same like it is. You're getting 30 diapers as you're going out the door. Like it's hard to stay on a schedule and everything. And so it does like just really
it taught me to let things go.
Yeah.
I'm still learning.
Oh my gosh. I feel like every day I'm like, sometimes I feel like I'm on top of the world. I'm like, oh, I'm such a good mom. And other days I'm like, what the hell am I doing?
Today was one of those days for me that I got to the end of the day and I was like, what was that? Yeah. What was that today? Like, what? Do I have to do this again tomorrow?
Yeah.
All right, let's go into the episode. We are talking about moments or stories of our kids humbling us. And I know we've all had these moments. And so we thought it would be fun to kind of share and relate because there is nothing more humbling than a kid telling you what they think.
It's so true. Do you have one for you?
Yeah. Do you want me to start?
Yeah, and then I'll do mine, then we can go into that.
I mean, I honestly have so many. I think I've trauma blocked some of them out because they were so mean. But the latest one was after I had my third child. I was in the shower with my oldest child, and she goes, Mom, why does your stomach look like that? And I said, like what? And she said, like pizza. I think I was like 3 weeks postpartum, and I was like
pizza.
Well,
that's actually not necessarily a diss.
I mean, she loves pizza.
Yeah.
But I think she meant like doughy, like pizza dough, because we make pizza a lot. And
that's the context. I'm like, how does it look like pizza?
Because it's like doughy. Mm-hmm, yeah. And we make homemade pizzas a lot. I should have said that. And so like we'll like play with the dough. And so she was literally telling me that my stomach looked like dough. And in that moment, I just said, F my life.
Yeah. I've had a stomach one before after I had Jack. Colson's like, Mom, you don't have a baby anymore. Why is your belly still so big?
When my mom had her last, my grandma was watching me, and I guess I was very concerned. Because I think I was like 6. I was very concerned. I kept telling my grandma, why does my mom's stomach still look like that? Like, why does it look like that? Like, I was hardcore, like, side-eyeing, judging her for still having a stomach.
It takes a while, guys. Takes a while,
okay? Mine's not even back to normal. It's been over a year. It's never going to be back to normal ever.
Did something savage like that when I was in high school. I had this like high school teacher, and I loved her so much. She was my favorite, and she was like, I knew she was having a baby, and she was going on maternity leave. I ran into her. I think it was at like a Shills or something, and I was like, oh my gosh, hi, it's so good to see you. Like, when are you due? And guess what? Her baby was in her shopping cart with her.
Thank God.
And the baby was like a couple days old. So I'm like, you literally still look pregnant when it's a couple days.
Did you see the baby?
no, I didn't. And then she's like, she's right here. I just had her a few days ago. But I'm like, it could have been worse.
Yeah, no,
like, at least she was only a few days old.
And you were in high school.
It just makes you say, though, like, or makes you realize, just don't ever say anything like
don't
that.
say anything ever.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe I should have just said.
Said what?
I don't know. What should I have said in that scenario? Hi, how's it going?
Well, you should have looked in the damn cart to see if the baby was in there. You should have used context clues to see where the baby was.
I was smart enough in high school to do that.
Were you like a freshman in high school or like a?
I was like, I was smart enough, but like, do you know how like as a mom you start like really realizing those things and recognizing them, like when you're like single or you're just oblivious.
If he's listening to this, I don't think he is. I love you, but my brother-in-law, I think I was like 3 days after giving birth, and he goes, so what are you going to do to lose the baby weight? And I was like,
great question.
I don't know what I'm going to do. First, I'm going to wait till everything, and I think I said to him, well, first I'm going to wait till there's not stitches in my vagina.
Hey, do you know what?
Because he had no idea. He wasn't even married yet. He doesn't know
like
what's going on.
Half the time you just got to like
say something like that and just, okay.
Okay, my humbling, well, I already said the one where he said I still look pregnant, but the other one was my, the other day I got ready. Actually, it was when you were doing my newborn photos.
Yeah.
And I had my makeup all done and I wore mascara, which I rarely
You don't really wear ever.
Like,
you don't ever wear mascara.
Yeah, like once a year. Honestly, for pictures. It's so really lucky. The only time. It's not because I look so good without it.
No,
it's just because I hate the feeling of it on my eyelashes.
Really?
I do not. I like pick it off. Like it bugs me.
You should try a lift and tint.
Oh, I should try that. I think I actually would really.
What?
No, let's not go into that. Okay. We did one once. It was a total fail. We don't have enough time to tell the whole
really
story.
Quick. I'll just tell it really quickly.
Okay.
One time Becca comes over and she's like, I have a lash lift and tint kit. Will you do it on me? So I like did all the steps and I never actually put the lifting perm solution on. So I spent like an hour on her lashes and then she was like, wait, here's the solution. And I did it completely wrong and just wasted her time. And she said, I'm going home.
I was like, this was not worth it.
See ya.
Yeah, bye.
I'm just kidding. That's not exactly how it happened. You were nice about it, but I felt so dumb.
At that point, we were both so tired, though. I feel like I was pregnant then.
You were pregnant. And I had a newborn.
Being pregnant is just not it. Like,
okay,
so
anyways, Kate, go on.
Lift and tint. I don't wear mascara. Okay, my son was like, so I had makeup on. He's like, Mom, why does your eyes look at that and your cheeks look so red? And I'm like, oh, I did my makeup, whatever. Do you like it? And he's like, no. Straight no. No, nothing else. And he just like walked away. I'm like,
that's better than not wearing makeup and your kid being like, you need, like, why do you look so bad?
Yeah, that probably happens too.
Yeah. He's just telling you you're naturally beautiful.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, that's what it was. Okay, we're going to go into submissions. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I have all of them, so I'll
read them and then, okay.
Yeah. Okay, this is the first one. My 6-year-old cousin patiently listened to my 30-year-old sister tell a story, and then she said, you remind me of this annoying boy in my class.
Oh, no. Wait, if you didn't hear that, she was laughing. You remind me of this annoying boy in my class.
Like, probably straight face, just like, you remind me of this annoying boy. What would you say?
Thank you.
I would just be like,
I'd be like,
I think I would crumple.
Do you know what annoying means? Because I feel like actually sometimes kids don't know what that stuff means.
6-year-old? They were 6. They knew. 6-year-olds are like out here tweeting, okay?
Are they?
I don't know.
They
grow up too fast. Yeah, they're literally out here voting. No.
Okay, that's bad.
We weren't going to talk about politics, Becca. Why did you have to bring politics into
it? Was just in my mind.
Okay.
Okay,
you ready for the next one?
Yeah.
I just finished pumping for my baby, and as I was taking the how do you say that? Flanges off.
Yeah.
My 4-year-old daughter asked, Mom, when I get bigger, will I have those long boobs? And he stopped laughing. Will I have those long boobs like you?
So bad.
So bad.
Do you know what the worst about pumping too is? Like the nipple really does go in and out, in and out.
Yeah.
I'm glad I just did that visual on the camera.
We're going to get so many
views. It is.
We're going to get banned. We're going to get banned on Instagram.
Yeah. Do you know what's going to happen?
Your account's going to get flagged because you just did that.
Sorry, guys.
It's okay.
The terms weren't great either. But I do think they do kind of go back a little bit to normal.
They do. Because I'm over a year and a half postpartum and they do. But do I have boobs anymore? Absolutely not. I have less boobs now than I did when I was 14.
Definitely a sacrifice.
It's definitely a sacrifice.
But nursing, baby. That's hilarious.
Okay, next one. I was in the shower with my 2-year-old and we were teaching him about body parts. I pointed to his penis and said, what's that, buddy? And he said, my penis. Then I pointed to my vagina and asked what it's called. And he said, hair. He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
He is not wrong.
That kid
Have
is
your
going
kids ever
places.
asked you, like, my boys are always like, how come you don't have a penis?
Oh, yeah. No, all the time. And this morning, because, okay, we tried to call it, like, penis and vagina, and, like, we were trying to be very proper about it.
like the kosher thing.
Yes. Somehow, my oldest started calling it a winker, which actually is the perfect name for it. So now in our family, it's known as
Ailey.
It's known as a winker, okay? Don't come for me. So this morning, Blair, my 3-year-old goes, Daddy, when I grow up, am I going to have a winker like you?
Oh, no.
He was like, I don't think so. Like,
yeah, I think that's what all kids think.
Yeah.
Like, my sister said, am I going to have a tail?
Oh, a tail? What did you guys call it growing up in your family?
I don't know.
We called it,
I feel like we really didn't talk about it much.
Why can't I remember? You didn't talk about body parts?
Not my mom we do now. I feel like that's a new thing.
No, my mom was, like, very body positive. She was always...
Oh, your mom was ahead of her time.
She was ahead of her time.
I feel like my parents, like, talked about that stuff, but we didn't, like, say the word penis.
Oh, we called it a wiki.
Oh, no.
It was called a wiki.
I hate that. I hate that so much.
I hate it too.
Okay, we are getting too deep on that. Bye.
Okay, bye. Next one. Okay. I had a huge zit on my cheek, but I had done my makeup well and was hosting bunko at my house. Side note really quick. I hate bunko.
Love bunko.
No, I hate bunko. Where we live, I don't know if it's where we live or the age demographic that we're in, but people are always...
old people do bunko, but I love it. So.
No, girls our age are always doing bunko nights. And I'm like, no, I will come and I will hang out, but I don't want to go count numbers.
I totally disagree.
Oh my gosh,
I'm a game family. I come from a game family, and I love games. So count me
No,
in for
my
bunko.
family's like, let's play a game. And I'm like, I'm out of here.
Another controversial topic. Bunko or no bunko?
No,
and I say bunko.
I hate bunko. Please invite me still because, like, I want
Don't invite her.
friends.
I'll have a bunko night and you will be excluded.
That's really rude. Okay, I was hosting bunko at my house. Even though I had a huge zit, I was feeling confident and having fun with my friends. And then my son ran downstairs and pointed right at the zit and said, "What's that? What's that? What's that?" Oh, in front of her friends.
Oh, the worst. And
That's
honestly,
mean.
they probably were all just laughing. Because it's like, who cares? Like, it's not like anyone really cares if it's it. And I feel like a zit is one of those things where it's like, you notice it so much and most people don't. But then, like, the first son's like, eh.
Yeah. No, I have a mole right here on this side of my face, and I have a scar right here from a mole that was removed. My kids just love to point it out. They're always like, "What's that, Mom?" And they look so disgusted. And I'm like, it's a beauty mark, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, this is the last one.
Okay.
My son told his church teacher, my mom was so young when she had me, she probably wasn't married yet. I was married, but also young. When I was mad at my parents, I used to spread rumors about them that they had me, which isn't even a bad thing, but in the culture, in the place we grew up, if you did have kids out of wedlock, then it was kind of like frowned upon. And so, so if like my parents grounded me, I would spread the rumor that they had me when they were 16.
Do you know what? That is pretty savage of you.
It was pretty
Honestly,
savage
and smart.
of me.
I feel like, too, the other thing about that is like your kids are the ones who are going to spill all your secrets. So, like, people would totally believe them. If they're like, oh my God, I'm married so young. Like,
and I was, like, older. I was, like, 16. I was like, yeah, they had me when they were in high school. My mom was like, no, we didn't.
I know. And do you feel like your kids are getting the age, too, where they start kind of listening in and then they say random stuff that you say to people and you're like, crap, I need to be a little more zip the lips.
Okay, so those are all of our submissions. If you guys want to support us, please, when we do submission episodes, give us your submissions because it's so much more fun when we have more submissions and we don't just have to spill all of our tea. We get to spill yours.
Exactly. It's so fun to react to them and, like, honestly hear all your stories. And I feel like it just makes us more united in motherhood.
Okay, we're going to do our closing segment. Our first Dear Park Moms. Our Dear Park Moms is basically just an advice column that people can write in and ask questions and we can answer them. And hopefully as the community grows, other people can also answer the questions. And our first one is how to leave your kids with a babysitter. So this is someone who asked.
With their first child.
With their first child, which I will say this one's hard. I will validate that it's hard. Mm-hmm. But what are your thoughts on this?
I think, first off, it really is difficult. Just because, like, you love your kids so much and it is a little nerve-wracking leaving them with someone else. However, I do, and I think you're good at this and I'm good at this, like, I do think, like, your independent time is also really, really important. So maybe, like, I would say to ease into it, start with, like, having someone you trust, like, whether it's your spouse or, like, a neighbor that you trust or a family member.
Yeah.
Jinx. Have someone that you trust, watch them. And if you, like, are really nervous about it, you could even, like, stay there and, like, have the baby be watched when you're, like, there, like, showering or whatever.
Yeah, go upstairs and do a face mask and take a shower or take a bath. Like, put on your headphones and so you're there That's actually really good advice, is you don't actually have to leave with a babysitter, which is like hard to pay someone when you're still there. But still, that time is so important, especially when you have a baby, just have a little bit of time. And also, like you said, ease into it. Just like go grocery shopping, go to Target. You don't have to leave for very long.
And like stay close. And then I think independent time is really important. And then I also think time with your partner is also very important. And so that does require both of you to leave the baby with a babysitter, which I know is really nerve-wracking as well. But I think like getting that time to like date again or just like have like those adult conversations is really important for like your partnership and marriage as well, because you do kind of get wrapped up in having a child, which is amazing, and like you can grow together in that, but it's also nice to like keep your guys' strength and relationship alive too.
Which is better for your baby in the long run too, is for your parents to be happy and have a relationship. And
exactly,
you know. So
I also feel like one other like actual like tip you could actually do is put your child to bed first and then go out and do some things, so then you're not like stressed about like that portion. Like at least they're just sleeping, you know what I mean? And like that's a first step.
And you can check on them on the baby monitor. Try not to do it too much. Try not to be crazy about it, but you can check on them. But yeah, just ease into it, because it really is so important. It's really easy just to be like, well, I don't want to leave them. And so then you never do. And then you're a couple years into it and you've never left them. And then I will say that is very hard, is when they are like 1 or 2 and they know you and they've only ever had you.
That's going to be more difficult.
Yeah, it's really hard to leave them with someone.
I feel like kids do know, like, well, this is when they're a little older. They do know that, like, they can react in a certain way that's going to make you stay. And then half the time, once you're gone, they're, like, totally fine and happy. Yeah. And I also just think, like, having someone you trust that will be, like, figure it out if they are crying, you know, because it's good to have other people that can, like, soothe your kid besides you. Yeah. Otherwise, it's a big, like, strain on you.
Yeah, and your relationship, like you said. Okay, well, that was a great Dear Park Moms. If you guys, you can always, we'll put a little link on our stories and like a highlight bubble. If you ever need advice on anything, you can just go and ask a question and we'll probably address it on our next episode, or we'll compile and do a whole episode of them. Yep. But thank you guys so much for listening. I feel like this was kind of a more heavy episode, but I think it's good because not everything is just like fun and silly. Sometimes parenthood, motherhood is hard. Yeah. We've got to talk about all of the things here on Park Moms podcast.
Yes. And if you like our content, please like write us a rating and review. Put your submissions in, because we truly love telling your stories. That's the best part.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Park Moms podcast. We'll see you guys next time.
Until then, keep yapping.
Bye. Bye.